Hi, welcome to Roberta Reindorf Show. Tonight I'm here to tell you some changes that I have brought to this community based on the topics that I have talked about in the past, and also based on the decision I made back in 2013 and launched out with what I call community empowerment. What did community empowerment did all entails? It all entails information involving politics, policies, education, technological advancement, all kinds of ways by which we can empower the community. And my program started back in September 2013 when I had a vision that I need to come to the community, be part of the community, and to give you information pertaining to these areas. Since 2013 until now, I have decided that I am branching out from this very evening into what I call the Roberta Reindorf Show. Perhaps you may be thinking about why the reasons for changing and switching into what I call the Roberta Reindorf Show. Few reasons that I have written down here. Number one is technological advancement. As we know, technology these days have become the proliferation of the day. Technology have influenced our world. Technology has brought what we call globalization, international relations, and in making our world a very smaller village, right? With a touch of a mouse, you can be reaching Australia. With a touch of a phone, you can be reaching some other parts of the world. And so I felt that I need to switch with the times. I need to transition myself into a more broader scale by bringing you some of this information. And so the Roberta Reindorf Show, which is starting from this very evening, is going to be based on information pertaining to education, politics, policies, technology, media, anything that is influencing our world globally, so that I can be able to bring you some of this information. Take, for instance, the recent thing that happened in Kenya and Ethiopia. It was a plane crash that we all saw on CNN. And what did we see? We realized that a plane that is supposed to land just an hour journey from Kenya to Ethiopia, or from Ethiopia to Kenya, did not even lasted about 20 minutes, and then the plane crashed, and the world suddenly got to know about it. And so it is not enough for me to confine information only pertaining to the state of Minnesota. For that matter, just bringing you information, very minute information, so to say, or information that just involve very local things when we live in a global world. And so I just thought it wise that I begin to transition and begin to embrace a more broader information. For instance, I like to talk to you about education that affect a place like China. What does the education in China got to do with you living in Minnesota? Perhaps it might give you information about how you view the world. It will change your world perception about education. If all you know about education in Minneapolis or education system in the United States, right? It's not enough information to tell you how to really broadly think, right? So if I can bring you information pertaining to something going on in Central America, or if I can talk to you about some policies in certain places in Western Africa, then it can give you a holistic, globally international relations information about how to rightly view the world, and also to think about how other people govern themselves. Here in America, for example, we are very conversant with the democratic system of government, but it may not be something that is more embraced by the German culture, or it may not be embraced by certain socialist countries such as Russia, right? But if I'm able to bring you some of this information, then those information can help your mindset on how things are governed around the world. And it can also help you to be able to better communicate with others. It to be able to help you to, connect with others who are talking about conversation that involve international relations or international informations. And so my very reasons of changing community empowerment into the Roberta Reindorf Show is, number one, to embrace technology. Number two, to embrace the globalization that we see in our world today. To embrace expansion, to embrace ways of changing, psychologically how we think about things, in a more broader scale. I like to, first of all, as we transition from this very evening from community empowerment into the Roberta Reindorf Show, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, because it's all about branding. It's all about who are you to bring us some of this information. It's like you are in college, right? And you are supposed to write some sort of a paper and, store that information on the internet so that other people can use it for research or for information purposes or for other purposes, other educational purposes. You have to be very authentic in how you bring your information. You have to be very knowledgeable enough to call yourself bringing information to the public, because guess what? The public is vested in education. We have people that are intellectuals. We have people that have professionalism. We have people in all kinds of life. And so you can't just give information in a global perspective just to anybody. So I like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. Not too much, but just a little bit to station within the field that we are talking about. So as I said, I am Roberta Reindorf, and I migrated from Western Africa into the United States many years ago. I have had some few education in England. I have had some few education in Switzerland, and I have also have some more education in United States. Majority of my education background covers human resource management, a master's degree in human resource management from a school here in the United States. I also have a master's degree in communication studies, which is where I got all of this background of communicating mass media communication, television communication to you. I also have a background in counseling psychology, in linguistic psychology, clinical psychology. I have served in the city of Brooklyn Park as a human rights commissioner. I've also been in certain areas pertaining to diversity. I've worked with some few areas in diversity, involving various people from various parts of the world. I currently work in a field of psychology and communication studies. And so my background involves psychology, human resource management, and so I have a background in the human resource arena. So the politics that is on human resources, the policies, so politics and policies within these dimensions, within human resource, within our employment sector. So these areas have become very conversant. And then now I have transitioned into counseling psychology, linguistic psychology, counseling psychology, and then the psychology behind marketization. In other words, business psychology. What is the business behind our marketing system? So these are the areas that I have worked in. These are the fields that I have worked in. I also have a background from Bethel University in international relations, political science and international relations. Now you understand why I like the idea of politics so much. Politics involving the United States, politics involving the world around us. And so these are the areas and these are the backgrounds I've worked in and have built my resume. And so I'm going to bring you information pertaining to these areas that are relevant to our day-to-day life in terms of the global world. Couple of things more, and I have a guest that is going to join me in the next 2 minutes here, and he's going to ask me some few questions about why I started out as community empowerment and why I'm transitioning into what I call the Roberta Reindorf Show. And so without much ado, I would like to invite my guest. He will be joining me in the next few minutes here, and we're going to transition into those questions in those arenas. I also like to share my sincere gratitude in thanking you for my viewers and my critics, those of you that I have been criticizing, but constructive criticism is what I call it. You have been criticizing constructively, bringing me information, and certain times you make me go and do some more research. And I love that, and I welcome that, and I want to tell you how grateful I am. I also want to tell those who have journeyed with me from 2013 until now that I am thankful and I am very grateful. And I am looking forward to working with you from this very evening, Roberta Reindorf Show onwards. And for those that are also joining us also as new observers and as also new people, I would like to say, please journey with me. Please call me. Please send me your emails, send me your text messages. Unless I forget, I also want to let you know that I am going to be moving into all the social medias. I want you to look for me on Instagram. I want you to look for me on my Facebook page. I want you also to go to Channel 12 and look for me on the website of Channel 12. Majority of my programs is going to be stationed on Channel 12. And I also want you to look for me on my YouTube page. Without much ado, would you please allow me to welcome my guest as he comes in to ask me reasons why I transitioned from community empowerment into the Roberta Martin Show.
Roberta, great to be part of your show.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Clady.
Now I understand you're transitioning to more of a, you can explain it in your own words, where your show is headed to now.
Well, I started out back in 2013 as community empowerment.
Right.
And I have been bringing information pertaining to the community. I understand that we are, as you know, that we are in a more technological advancement age.
Right.
We are also in a global world. And so it wouldn't be wise for me to just have information pertaining to the community. Now we can transition into a more broader scale, bringing information from Thailand, bringing information from Western Africa, bringing information
So you're
from
trying
all
to
over.
show people what's going on in other areas of the world, I understand.
Absolutely, yes.
With modern technology,
With
'cause that's your background.
That's my background, absolutely.
So you're encouraging people, what, to come on down here and be part of the show? Or just watch your show because you'll be getting the information out on what's going on with other parts of the world? Is that your main goal?
I think my main goal involves all the two that you said. They can watch me. They need to connect with me, but they also need to come out here so we can talk about the global world. What is happening around us? For example, what happened in Ethiopia when the plane crashed. And what is happening with the Boeing 737? Mm-hmm. What is the world talking about? You know, is it only about United States that we need to know? That CNN bring us the information pertaining to Boeing 737? Well, what is Australia saying? What is China saying? What is the rest of the world saying? What are you saying?
So that's what your unique perspective is that you're trying to, because you've got a world globe, you've traveled the world, you've been educated all over the world, you're trying to bring that worldly experience to us.
I think I wouldn't say that I have studied around the world. I have some world experience. I'm an
Yes.
international person.
Right.
I migrated from Western Africa. I've had some European experience and education and travel. And I bring to this piece about all these international world experience that I have. And I'm looking forward to learn some more things from my viewers, from you, from everybody around the world. So we kind of need to educate ourselves globally.
Right.
Right.
Well, what is the state of the global human race right now? I look at it that people don't quite understand. We're still got wars going on. The United States is supporting Yemen.
Yemen. Right.
That war's been going on. Saudi Arabia. I'm not a big fan of Saudi Arabia. I think they've kind of lost their way. For some reason, we support them carte blanche. And then there's still troubles in Iraq, Afghanistan.
Absolutely.
What's your opinion on the ongoing wars because we've been this goes back to Bush's oil war back in 16, 17 years ago.
Right.
We still have troops in Afghanistan.
Of course.
And do you ever see that war ending?
Well, you've asked a very great question, but I also think that we can even transition into history and go way back before Bush. Mm-hmm. And we will realize that war has been going on even before the world began. Right?
Oh, yeah, it was continuously wars going on.
Wars going on.
But I think our long-term goal is to try to end these wars before it goes globally and ends the human race.
Absolutely. Remember,
because people don't even talk about nuclear, the nukes and the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us against. This continues on, and I hope that you can bring in some experts and talk about where we are in the world right now, because we just seem to increase our military spending, I don't know, tenfold. And what point do you reach when you feel you've spent enough on military and defense? Have we reached that? It's my opinion. These politicians will never reach. There's no end to it.
I kind of agree with you to some extent, but I'm not an expert on that, and that's where you come in.
Right.
And that's where other people that have the professional experience in politics, I wouldn't like to say President Obama should come here, but if he should come here, right?
We'll bring him in.
Then
his wife is, I think, in town.
He's in town. His wife,
weekend.
Michelle, is in town. We want to just say, hi, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's
Come
a
on
great
in.
time.
Bring your book in here, and we'll talk about it.
Becoming Michelle Obama. Hopefully one day we get her in here and talk about Michelle a little bit. But let's switch back to the issue of politics and talk about what is happening.
Well, we are in an election coming up here,
Right.
Campaign 2020 just around the corner.
Absolutely.
We've got all these candidates trying, of course, the Democrats, it's a wide open race for him, for whoever wants, not him, it's not gender specific, it's wide open for the Democratic nomination. Well, I'm supporting Kamala Harris. Because I was born in San Francisco.
Oh, you supporting Kamala Harris?
Yeah, Kamala all the way, baby.
So you want Kamala to run for election 2020? I mean, you want her to be president.
Darn
so
right.
what are we gonna do? Kamala Harris. Let's talk
She's
about
got a
Kamala
book
Harris.
out. Well,
She got a book out, The Truth We Hold.
That's
So
right.
we're gonna talk about this book shortly.
Well, I'm going to talk about it on
days.
April 7th.
Well, you come in here on April 7th, you have a topic going on Grassroots Party of Minnesota.
Yeah, I've got Chris Wright.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? I think we have some time to talk about that.
Heck yeah. Well, Chris Wright is the state chair of the Grassroots Legalized Cannabis Party of Minnesota, and we're going to have a town hall meeting on April 7th.
You're having a town
hall. And it's
hall.
co-sponsored by the Stop the Trump Crime Family Book and Video Club.
Stop the Trump Family.
Stop the Trump Crime Family Book and Video Club.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's right. That's why I got this book here. We have every first Sunday of every month. The book club meets down here at Northwest Community TV. Well, this coming April 7th, Sunday, April 7th, we are featuring the book, The Truth We Hold by Kamala Harris. And we're encouraging people right now to go out and buy this book and read it and come on down and participate Sunday, April 7th at 4 o'clock.
Well, I'm in, but I also would like to tell you that I will invite you on my show, the Roberta Reindorf Show, so that we can talk a little bit about Kamala Harris and then perhaps try and see if we can get this on Facebook to go viral and get her in
get
here.
the word out there. Get
her in here.
Well, the most important thing is that the Democrats, whoever wins the nomination, we have to rally around that person. The last election, I started out helping Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
And Bernie ran a great campaign, but he lost to Hillary Clinton, of course.
Right.
Well, there were some people that I argued with that they said they could not support Hillary Clinton because when she was a senator, she voted for the war in Iraq. She supported George W. Bush. So I argued with these people. I said, well, she was lied to. She was misinformed. Everybody... the majority of the Senate, she wasn't the only Democrat to support Bush's oil war in Iraq.
Absolutely.
Okay, she made a mistake. She apologized for it. People said, well, I can't vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
Oh.
That blows my mind. How you can support Bernie Sanders and then say, I can't vote for Hillary Clinton, then I can vote for Donald Trump is beyond anybody's reasoning. It doesn't make any sense at all. If you're not going to vote for Hillary Clinton, vote for a third-party person. Write in Donald Duck. I don't care. You don't vote for a womanizing scoundrel. You don't vote for a mob boss. You don't vote for somebody that's morally and mentally unfit to hold the office of President of the United States of America. Donald Trump is an embarrassment, a national disgrace. The rest of the world must wonder what the hell we are doing here. Our NATO allies are totally frustrated with him. He goes to meetings with Putin, and Putin plays him for a fool. The Trump crime family is so stupid, they don't understand that Trump is the puppet master, and he's got Trump dancing on a string. It's a national disgrace. Like I said, Donald Trump is an embarrassment, and the Democrats, now that they have this Congress, need to start impeachment hearings today.
Okay.
Now, you've got a world experience. What do you think the rest of the world thinks of Donald Trump?
What I want us to talk about right now is that I understand your opinions and I understand your view about the president, but I would advise that we don't go too far into, speaking about certain things that becomes
well, in this country, free speech means something. We have a constitution.
Absolutely.
We have responsibilities. We have rule of law. If you if the Democrats don't understand the Constitution and don't understand the responsibility to impeach Donald Trump, they're not doing their job. So if you don't have laws, you have anarchy, and that's where criminals thrive, in chaos and anarchy. Donald Trump is a crook, he's a criminal, and needs to be kicked out of office.
So I think I understand your point of view, but at this point, I'd rather like to talk about Kamala Harris. Who is Kamala Harris?
She's a senator from California.
I know.
I was born in California. I was born in San Francisco. She, Attorney General, that's where she was, got her start. She was a dark horse candidate, broke through, became Attorney General of California.
Right.
And then a Senate seat opened up. She ran for a United States Senate. Surprise victory there. So she's going to surprise America and become our next president.
Well, I like to tell you that when I see women empowerment, when I see women in power, I kind of, get excited because I feel like just as men are, very educated, strong, have the capability to do things, I also think that women also can do great things.
Well, women are doing great things.
And I think that women are, the untapped reservoir in the world. Because women,
untapped, we got to tap into that.
We got to tap into the power, empowerment of women, because women are reservoir. Okay, women are the empowerment of society. When you think about women, think about what women do in general. Women nurture, women provide, women care, women have dignity, So women are the on-top reservoir.
I think a woman should be president of the United States.
I think a woman should be president of the
Hillary
United
Clinton
States.
came close.
Right.
But she...
But we still love Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I personally feel that she's one of the greatest women in the world. She constitutes one of the greatest women in the world. This is a woman who
she's done great stuff.
This is somebody who is strong. This is somebody who is educated. Check her resume. This is somebody who have so much experience in life. Internationally, globally, we're talking about global experience,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Globally. But I also think Kamala is also very amazing and very wonderful. But since we're talking about politics and we all have our opinion, I like to share with you that my pick for the 2020 election is Mr. Vice President Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Mr. Biden.
Well, he's about ready to announce, I think. He was in the paper
He's getting
today.
ready to be announced.
Yes.
And
Aren't you a little concerned about his age?
I'm not concerned about his age because age is just a number. How does he look like physically? Physically, the man is strong. The man is moving around. You know, he's not too far in age. You know, that's not big.
He's like 77 years old.
77 years old. He's not too far apart from Joe Biden. He's not too far apart from President Donald Trump.
No.
And he's not too far apart from Senator, the one that just passed, Arizona Senator.
McCain?
John McCain. He's not too far apart from John McCain.
Okay.
But he's physically strong. And he's the oldest man in the Senate.
But is he mentally sound?
I think he's mentally sound.
I disagrey with you. I think he's showing signs of old age.
I don't think he's showing signs of old age.
Good luck to you. But I think I just read a survey from Iowa, and that he is one of the top front runners.
Right, because
he's got background.
He got some huge, and that's a big factor right there.
Right.
The fact that your resume can speak for what you can do in office. The Oval Office is not so much about just being a businessman.
No.
Or just knowing a little bit about politics.
Experience. You got to have experience.
Or just being some sort of you got to have experience. When you have experience, what does people say? Experience is the best teacher.
Now, well, look at our current president. He has no experience of being an office holder.
So I want to respect my president, the president of the United States currently, Mr. Donald Trump.
Well, you can show him all the respect you want.
But I also think that we can do great things.
We can do better.
We have to be very culturally diverse.
Yes.
We have to be inclusive, diversity and inclusiveness, right?
Yes.
People from all over the world, women, men, disability, people from all over the world. You know, women, men, people of color. I think that the world we live in now, because
but Donald Trump's a racist. What do you think of a president that talks about defending the Ku Klux Klan, their rally in South Carolina? I think he's a disgrace to the office of President of the United States.
So let's.
I recognize the office of President. I respect the office of President of the United States. But when a con artist like Donald Trump gets elected president, I cannot support him.
I want to respect the fact that he's the president of the United States.
I can respect
because
that.
then the world is looking at us. Remember the show.
Well, the world thinks we're crazy. We've lost our minds.
So let me say this, if you will.
Okay.
So this Roberta Reindorf show is about globalization.
Right.
So how does the world look at me when they are listening to me, and I bring my president down? I may not understand his values.
You got to speak the truth.
Of course, we have to have freedom of speech.
Right.
I may not agree with certain values and certain policies he makes, but I want to respect him as a president. And I totally, Mr. Clyde.
Yes.
I totally appreciate your views, and well, I want to thank you for your opinions that you share with the public. Mm-hmm. I want to say that I respect your views, and I want to also say to my viewers that we have to have freedom of speech. However, we also have to respect people in authority. We have to respect, I personally, in politics.
I'm ready to talk about any policies concerning our government, because we are on the threshold of huge, important issues, and campaign 2020 is just around the corner, and you need to be on top of all these candidates. you should be encouraging these candidates to come here and be on part of your show. Okay. I'm going to try and send Kamala Harris.
So right now we
need Kamala Harris to come on your show.
We need Kamala Harris to come on the show. But right now we're going to transition from talking about President Donald Trump, okay?
Right.
We will not talk about President Donald Trump. We will leave those conversations for those professionals who are in politics and policies.
That's right.
To think on that. For now, I like to advocate for my wonderful woman, Kamala Harris. And Mr. Clyde is going to be talking extensively about this topic. And we want to invite our viewers. We're going to have an in-house. We're going to have an in-house town hall meeting.
That's right, April 7th.
April 7th. We're going to have a town hall meeting.
Chris Wright from the Grassroots Legalized Cannabis Party of Minnesota. And what he'll be talking about is the state of marijuana laws in Minnesota. Right now, Republicans that control the Senate here in Minnesota have kind of squashed it. So there will be no legislation this year on legalizing marijuana. But Chris Wright will be here to answer questions about the future, how the Grassroots Party of Minnesota is trying to legalize marijuana in the state of Minnesota. It's a national trend that is sooner or later it's gonna pass here in Minnesota. It might be 2 years, it might be 10 years, but the writing is on the wall.
Okay, so I haven't read this book, and I'm going to pick up my copy. So tell us where you bought this book. Where can we find it?
You can get it anywhere. Get it online. It was a #1 in the New York Times bestseller list. So I'm sure Barnes & Noble, you can go to any of your local big-time bookstores will have it. And I bought it online.
So audience, Kamala Harris, the truth. What does it say? The truth we hold, the American Jenny. Everybody have an American Jenny. So you might want to grab your copy and read about her American Jenny, from where she has been and where she's trying to go, the White House, the Oval Office.
That's right.
She is trying
U.S.
to
Senator
get
from the great state of California.
U.S. Senator from the great state of California. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you come from California.
I was born in San Francisco, and I'm a bleeding heart, pinko commie, loopy liberal from way back.
And what are you doing in this cold state?
My parents were from this area. My dad was a career Navy man, and he served in World War II. I was born in 1950, right after World War II. He was stationed in California at the time. And then when he retired, the family roots were back here. So that's why I ended up. They were thinking about buying a house in San Diego at the time. But they thought California was a little too crazy back then. We're talking the 50s. So I ended up, I've been raised here in Minnesota. I've been back to California 9-10 times. I love to visit there, but it's kind of expensive. If you go to San Francisco, it's very expensive to live there. Great town to visit, but pretty expensive to live there.
Very expensive. Well, I'd like to say thank you to my viewers. It's been a pleasure having you, Mr. Clyde.
Great.
And I would like you to come back, and we'll talk more into politics and policies. And
what you got to do is get a Republican on here, because I'm from the far left. You got to get somebody from the far right here. We can discuss the important issues of the day. You can be the moderator.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Clyde want me to be the moderator for a show that he call it the Republican what?
Well, we'll just call it Campaign 2020.
Campaign 2020.
We can have somebody here to defend Donald Trump and his policies.
Okay.
And I will support whoever's running from the Democratic end. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me. If Joe Biden wins, hats off to him. I'll support him 100%. Kamala Harris wins, I'll be behind her 100%. No matter who. I mean, we've got like 20 solid candidates right now.
So I forget to tell the audience one of my background is that I have worked with the League of Women Voters, and I have done some issues pertaining to moderating. So I moderated for the city leaders.
Oh, great.
And
great.
I did the 2013, 14, 15, 16. Channel 12 had those informations, and I moderated for the league.
Well, I think you'd be a great moderator down here as you get politicians in here running for office. You can have debates, open forums for free speech is very important. That's what this country's supposed to be all about. and we can talk
Sure.
about the important issues as we get ready for campaign 2020. It's going to be history in the making. It's going to be fun and exciting, and I think all hell's.
So I would leave that to you to work on, and then you will involve me into that. I wouldn't mind to come in here and moderate for both two parties and get the viewpoint of people, share with the public what.
Oh yeah, it'd be
the point of
fantastic.
people.
I mean, like I say, it's going to be history in the making.
Of course, with so that we prepare people for the election, the
Right,
coming election of
you're going to get the
2020.
global perspective. You're going to bring the world view here that people need to be enlightened.
Of course, yes.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
It's all about
gonna
having
be-
fun, right?
It's all about having fun. And so, I really appreciate your being here.
Oh, great. I hope I didn't get too fired up, but I get excited. I can't help myself.
I'm trying to introduce my new show. As
Well,
Roberta
what is the
Reindorf.
main focus of your new show? Is it?
The main
I know
fo-
you're talking about technology breakthroughs. You're trying to expand your horizons. But what's your main goal? Do you want to talk about politics, or do you want a world view of what's going
So
on?
I'm going to do a holistic view of what is happening all around us. It's going to be involve politics, policies
Right.
around the world. What is the policies of Ukraine? How does that got to do with anything concerning me?
Oh, you need to bring Manafort. Oh, Manafort's going to jail, so you won't be able to interview him.
So yeah, let me try and answer your questions. It's going to be involved with media, with sports. It's going to be
Sure.
an information happening around the world so that we can
Great.
get a well
You're going to bring people from all walks of
all
life.
walks of life.
That'd be fantastic.
So that you are reaching everybody. That way you are reaching those that don't want politics but want the entertainment part of life, want to know
Right.
something about entertainment, or those that want, well, I don't want politics, I don't want policies, but I like to know about the educational system around the world. How does the
Sure.
educational system in China have anything to do with the educational system in the United
Now,
States?
do you have a budget? Do you have grants, foundation support, sponsors? Are you encouraging people to get involved with your show?
Well, if you have
Because
some
I'd love
grants-
to have you fly me over to Russia and interview Putin and find out what's going on over there.
I think that if you have some grants that you want to sponsor me so that I can travel around the world, that would be great.
That'd be
I
good. Well,
I
let's
will
look into
welcome
that. We must look into that.
Okay, I welcome that. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I
heck yeah.
appreciate that you said that in public, that you are going to sponsor me around the world. That would be fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And
Well, no, what I'm reaching out to people is to help sponsor this show. We need grants, we need foundation support. I support you 100%, but I don't have any money. I
course.
can't fly us to Russia and interview Putin.
Absolutely.
I need people from corporations to get behind a show like this, and because we want to bring technology in here, we want to bring in new advances in media, we want to bring people from all walks of life, but we can't do it alone.
Right.
We need
Right.
grants, we need foundation support, we need sponsors.
definitely.
I mean, you got me physically and mentally. That's what we're down here. We're all volunteers.
Right.
I'm here to support you and help you 100%.
Absolutely.
But I don't have any money.
And I appreciate that.
But that's what we
I
rely
appreciate
on
that.
down here is volunteers.
Absolutely. And once again, I think our time is up, and I'm going to thank you for
Great.
coming to be part
been
of my show.
great.
It's been amazing having you here.
I
and
had a
look
great
forward
time.
to working with you. We're going to have the town hall meeting in here and talk about
Yes,
Kamala
on April 7th. Get
Harris.
down here, April
Get the
7th.
book, Kamala Harris, The Truth We Hold.
That's right.
The
We encourage
American-
people from
the
all walks of
American-
life. All walks of life. to come down.
Absolutely. The American journey. I like to let you know, viewers, that Michelle Obama tonight, it's at the Target Center, and she's talking about becoming. Michelle Obama. The title of the book is Michelle Obama Becoming. From here, I'm heading down there so I
Oh,
can.
great. You're heading down there?
Yeah, heading down there to listen to women empowerment, people like her that are empowering women around the world. I want to say bravo to her, and thank you for listening.
All right, we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching the Roberta Reindorf Show.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.